What is going on, guys, and welcome to the long-awaited first ride of the Season 1 of Wreck Bike Rebuilds 2009 Monster 1100. You guys that have been a fan of the series know very well what this bike is. I did a reveal of it the other day. I'll put a link for that video. This bike has come a long way, and I'm finally getting to ride it out on the road. It's been a long time getting it from salvage to road legal to running, and oh man, this is this is a big one, guys. Let's get it going because I am nervous as all that time, all that attention to this moment where it's road legal. I can't tell you guys how excited I am to ride on this thing. Oh my gosh. You know, the bike seems shorter, but my legs are barely bent. I'm still able to touch the ground, so I'm thankful for that. Let's crank this baby up. Here we go. Oh, yes. You know, if you guys are mounting these little mirrors, I would recommend them doing them up, because right now I'm noticing my arms are going to block it, as you can see. Alright, I'm going to stop stalling. Okay, holy shit. Okay, so this is literally the first time I've sat on this bike, and those Woodcraft rear sets are so high up. Oh my gosh. It feels like a freaking super sport right now. Oh my god. Dang, getting your feet up on the pegs is rough, man. And I'm 5'10". You know, I'm leaned over. Like, no joke. I'm sport bike leaned over. Oh, Lord, I am not used to this clutch. Okay. Oh, it runs! It runs, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. Monster 1100, not the S model. We're out here. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Oh, and it sounds glorious. Oh man, if you guys watch the Wreck Bike Rebuild series, you know how much time and attention I've put on and into this motorcycle. It's been a really long road, so having it finally, you know, on the road it's pretty freaking cool. You will also notice that we don't have the little session up here. If you missed that first ride the other day, this happened. Yeah, so that's for that reason only. I have not gotten a clamp mount yet for the session. I will be getting one soon, so we'll have that dual camera for the first rides again. This thing is a torque monster. Jeez. I gotta be honest, guys, this seat is super freaking comfortable. It's a Sargent seat, and I talk about all the mods on the bike in the reveal video, so if you're interested in any of the mods on this thing, you can go check it out there. But I did not expect this seat to be this comfortable. I more bought the seat because of the looks, but oh man. Guys, this engine though, you can tell it has so much power, and it's instant. Like, it's down low, it's like at 3,000 RPMs, and it's ready to just lose its mind. Man, I will say, it throws you forward a little bit. You can let off the gas, and there's an instant, like an instant bite of engine braking that's gonna be interesting to use. Dude, I can't understand how good this bike sounds. I know it I know it's gonna sound like shit in the video, but man, I wish you guys could understand how good the bike sounds. So at some point I'll I'll do the horn on this thing, because we've got that Denali sound bomb and it is so loud. It's really cool having that open clutch basket, because you can actually hear when you have the clutch engaged. It's really interesting. You don't have that on a lot of bikes. The rear sets are also really short, so I can like pivot my foot around very easily. I mean, they're race rear sets, so man, the whole engine just kind of shakes when you shift and when you give it throttle. It's such a just a crazy powerful engine. So this bike started as a Monster 1100. There's an 1100S for this year model. This is the normal model. I'm not really sure what the S model is, honestly. I don't know what the upgrades there are. If I'm willing to bet, I would probably say like suspension and stuff like that. But we've got the old ones. You know, surprisingly, the mirrors don't work too bad. I'm happy because my arms do block it, but as long as I move my arms out of the way, I can actually, please God, don't go. Yeah, you move the arms out of the way and you can actually see. I would still recommend you guys mount them on the top. All right, taking a naked bike onto the highway. Never a fun time, but you know, you gotta, it's all in the name of science, right? Let's see what the acceleration's like on this thing. Okay, we're gonna stop that. I've got to be honest, I've never ridden a bike that has this much engine moving. The engine, like, you can feel the engine shift, which is a really weird feeling. It really feels like you're riding some type of animal. Like, look, when I let go of the throttle, it like throws you forward, and when I get on the throttle, there's like an engage feeling. You know, you sit back on this thing and we're going 96. That's not bad. It doesn't feel that bad. I mean, there's a lot of wind, but this bike is not a slouch. That is for damn sure. So interestingly, on the highway, the power, all that like crazy torquey power, it really dies out on the highway. Not dies out as in it's a slow bike, but it's much less twitchy on the highway, and it actually becomes like a really solid ride. Give it some throttle, it smoothly goes forward. You no longer just add that little that whole thing. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Okay, note to self, bike does not have a slipper clutch. Be careful when downshifting. The rear tire, you guys won't be able to tell. I just like skid the rear tire into this turn. Oh my gosh. One interesting thing, I don't know if this is specifically to this bike, but I feel like the handlebars are really short, the rear sets are really short, so I guess these modifications have gotten this bike to feel really racy, like really sporty, as opposed to the other monsters I've ridden. Like, not that other monsters aren't sporty, but this one is a bike that doesn't, it's not normally sporty from the get-go. But this one feels a lot sportier than all the other monsters I've ridden. Dude, that sound is crazy. I can't get over the freaking sound. When I made a video about the bike and I talked about the open clutch case and all this kind of stuff, people didn't like the sound, but like when you're going, you can't even hear it. Yeah, riding it up to 8,000 RPMs, you can tell there's really no point in doing that. This is a low down torquey bike. It's not a bike to ride up at 8 and 10,000 RPMs. All of the power of this bike is down low. And you can feel that, you really can. Like down low, you know, the bike twitching when you give it throttle, and it kind of twitches when you give it take off the throttle. I gotta admit, it's sort of interesting riding an older bike with less tech. Like when I would ride the R6s and all these bikes with slipper clutches, you kind of get used to that, and you just rev match, and you know, the bike figures it out for you. But not on this thing. You rev match down too hard, and that rear wheel's gonna stop, or it's gonna bounce around. It's kind of interesting. It's like riding in an old car or something like that. You suddenly appreciate the things you have these days. Can you guys see? Watch what happens when I let go of the throttle. Like, I know there's, you know, rev matching and all this kind of shit, but the whole engine kind of like just shakes a little bit. I'm gonna chalk that up to character, I guess. So one thing that's unfortunate is it's during the day. You guys aren't going to be able to see that the motodemic headlight. You can see the word motodemic right there. This headlight is actually a really awesome adaptive headlight, to where if I was going into this turn, right, and I was leaning the bike over, the light would shine in the direction of the turn. So if you were taking a curvy road at night, which I do not recommend you do, the light would actually go into the turn instead of just going straight, because what happens is you're not able to see what's ahead of you. So yeah, we were talking about the open clutch basket. You can hear it now. You can kind of hear it, and listen to the difference when I pull the clutch in. That's all the sound it makes. It doesn't really make that much noise when you're on the bike. Man, there is something to be said about V-twins and their like gruntiness. It's similar to a muscle car. So you have your Japanese bikes that are kind of like import cars, and then you have these V-twin engine bikes that are just grunty and loud and just meaty, you know? I'm a big fan of muscle cars, and these type of engines, they grow on me, man. They grow on you. This is so freaking surreal, dude. All the time spent. Oh my god. You can just feel the engine like, get the fuck away. I gotta say, man, this is probably one of the top 5 sounding bikes I've ever ridden. Listen to this. Oh, I hope it comes over the video. God, I hope it does. I know the odds are against me, but I guess I should actually talk like how the bike feels going back and forth. So the body position, you are in a more of a tack position with this thing. You know, you're leaned up. The handlebars are a little higher, so it's not as bad, but you are definitely, you know, cramped up legs. But you can adjust those rear sets, so that's not a problem. As far as leaning the bike back and forth, you do feel like you have a ton of control, but I would say as far as weight goes, with how much weight it feels like there is to lean the bike back and forth, or how much input it takes, I'm going to say it's about medium. It's not super light, but it's not a heavy bike going back and forth. I can definitely see, because of the rear sets, this is going to be a really good situation to where if the rider wants to go in the mountains and have a good time, you know, you're ready. You sit back a little bit, you get into the bike, and you can really do some stuff. And then if you want to ride around town, you know, you're good. You put it in a little bit higher of a gear, and you don't have to worry so much about all that crazy torque, and it's a good around the town bike. I don't know if, like, this would be one hell of an around the town bike. People would know you where you live. It'd be like, oh, I hear it. Is that the dude with the red wheels and the red frame? Oh, it's that motorcycle. Got it. Yep, knew it. You guys that watch a lot of my videos know that I'm more of a fan of the short brakes, like the short brake levers. These Brembo levers, though, are solid. It's at just the right spot. At least for me as the rider, feels good, man. If I ever bought a naked bike, I think I would really have to consider these Woodcraft rear sets. Because that way I get the feeling of the sport bike, but I still get the comfort of the naked bike. And my God, this seat is literally the most comfortable seat I've ever sat in on a motorcycle. That is impressive. We have to be quiet. Shh. because of this bike, I'm gonna go to the end of this parking lot because it's so loud. Alright guys, let's check this thing out. Oh man, 2009 Ducati freaking monster 1100 from Wreck Bike Rebuild Season 1. So at this point, you guys have seen this bike a lot, so you know how I feel about it. I'm going to walk around and let you look at it. This is the open clutch case that I was talking about. You guys got to understand, I've been looking at this bike in the garage for months. This is seeing it out in the world like I see all the other bikes I do first rides on. It's so weird. Here's the company for the seat, Sargent. Those guys, that is a freaking awesome seat. So the reason I bought it was because I like the material change from this to this, and then this matched the carbon that I have up the tank. So single-sided swing arm, obviously. Such a cool bike. Oh, I love it. Okay, so I tell you guys every time I do a blog post for the bike. I also in that blog post I do photos, I do a sound bite, like I get my good audio recorder and I record what the bike sounds like. Highly recommend you guys check this out because, you know, with Ducatis, man, you won't be able to hear and appreciate the bike. Before I rev it up here, I just want to let you guys know, if you really want to hear the bike, highly recommend you to go check it out. Also, if you curious what that little button is? It's red lights. Yeah, so we've got red LEDs inside the frame only, so the frame will glow red at night. Obviously, it's not nighttime, so you won't be able to hear it or see it, but ooh, that woman will not approve of what we're about to do. Alright, and drop her in neutral. Here we go, guys. 2009 Wreck Bike Rebuild version, Season 1, the Ducati Monster 1100. There have not been many first rides that I have enjoyed the noise that much. And I didn't even plan on doing the Leo vents at first. At first I thought I was going to do an SC project, and that we ended up going with the Leo vents because of availability issues. Let's get this thing going, man. Let's get this ride finished up. Oh man, this is so cool, so surreal. So guys, what do I think about the bike that I've built, right? What do I think about is the question. So I think the power is insane. It's got this little engine tweak that happens when you give it some power. Like the engine shakes or something like that. I don't know, it gives it character, man. This is a hell of a Ducati with character. I think the rider needs to be very careful. If you're in the middle of a turn and you give it that throttle and it tweaks on you, that's going to be interesting. You got to be very careful with that. Also, you got to be careful with, not only it doesn't have a slipper clutch, so that rear wheel is going to be chattering when you come in too hot, but you also got to be careful with just the sheer amount of power that this thing has. It's an 1100 naked bike, so it's got all of its torque down low and it gives you all of it. The body position, super freaking aggressive, which I kind of like. I kind of like the mixture of an aggressive body position with a naked bike. You get almost the best of both worlds if you like the way the naked bikes look. I really like the modification of the Rizoma bar with the Woodcraft rear sets because it gives it that really aggressive feel. I gotta say, now after riding it, you know, this will be the last video that you guys really see of me on this bike, and it's kind of a really awesome kind of bringing everything together, you know, spending all that time putting it together and all the issues and all the good and the bad times we had with the bike. And it's just really cool to ride this thing for one last time, you know, or one time period, and get to check it out. This is definitely a head-turning motorcycle, and I'm excited to give it to the winner of the bike. You know, I'm really excited to get it to him and have a good time and let him enjoy it for what it can be. But anyways, my friends, this has been the first ride of the Wreck Bike Rebuild Season 1 Ducati Monster 1100. If you guys haven't watched Wreck Bike Rebuild yet, I highly recommend you guys at least check it out. We basically took this bike from salvaged, had a cracked engine and everything, and we rebuilt the whole thing into this awesome thing you can see in front of you. It's a phenomenal series. I take you guys through everything in glorious detail, as I am not a mechanic. I don't know 100% of what I'm doing, and I was learning the whole way through. It's a really awesome series, and I highly recommend you guys go check it out if you haven't yet. And depending on when you're watching this, we might be in the middle of a season right now, which I highly recommend you guys checking out. I will leave links in the description, not only for season 1, but also whatever season we're on when you're watching this. I'm Chaseontwowheels, guys. I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you enjoyed it, you like the bike, make sure to hit that like button to show some love. And I think we'll go out on a horn. I don't want to scare these people yet, but whenever we go through this green light, I'm gonna pop this horn so you guys can hear it. And that'll be the last thing we do on this thing. I really don't want to be behind somebody when I do the horn because of how loud it is. Alright, ready? It's a train horn. It's so awesome. Oh, so crazy. Hi guys, I'm Chaseontwowheels. This is Wreck Bike Rebuild Season 1's Ducati Monsters first ride. And I will see you guys on the next video. I appreciate you getting to this point. You guys go out there and ride positive. And I'll see you on the next one later. It's amazing. Oh my god, the horn's amazing. Oh, you can tap it. You can just like give it a baby tap. And then you can do a bigger tap.